On this episode, we talk about can you use espresso beans to make regular coffee? And also, can you put coffee in the freezer? What's going on, everyone? Kendon here with Victrola. We're here with another episode of Ask Victrola, and I've got Meri here, who is the manager of our Victrola on Pike Street, which has the roastery in it back here, if you've ever been here. It's our one of our locations here, right in the heart of Capitol Hill on Pike Street here. And she's going to help us answer some of these questions today from you guys. So, Meri, tell us a little bit about yourself, just a little.
Well, I've been in coffee for a little over 7 years. I moved up here from Southern California about 2 years ago, and I've been working here ever since, and I love it. I'm a Capricorn. I have a little bit wacky and weird, and I'm a little bit obsessed with coffee.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see that, but that says espresso, her tattoo on her knuckles. It's commitment. It's commitment.
A lifestyle.
So we've got a couple questions to come with today, and the best part is just to remind you that these guys, I'm going to send each of these folks a free Victrola t-shirt. So that's what we do when we use your questions. So send them in, either direct message on Instagram or Facebook, or you can email in as well. But the first question comes from Brad B. His question is, can I use espresso beans for making coffee? If the coffee gods are okay with that, and how coarse should the grind be used for a pour over? So sort of a two-part question here. Let's start with the can I use espresso beans for making coffee? Because I'm sure you get that one a lot.
Yeah,
too.
this is a question I do often get in the cafe. Espresso is a method of making coffee. It is not a bean type, which is a common misconception. What we use for our espresso blend is a few different beans that are made to taste well as brewed as espresso, but it also is a very versatile bean itself. So actually our streamlined espresso blend is really good for drip or pour over or any other method you might use it in. Yeah. But it is only espresso once you put it into an espresso machine.
Right. What defines espresso is the fact that we're putting 9 bars of pressure, 130 pounds of pressure on a small puck of coffee for a very short, 20 to 30 second time frame. There's other definitions, official definitions outside of that, but that's really what makes it espresso. So you'll see sometimes we have even a single origin espresso, which means that it's not a blend, it is one coffee from one location, but we're extracting it as espresso.
Though I do thank you for making sure the coffee gods are okay with that
yes.
one. They are in fact very, very okay with this.
So yes, you can take something that's labeled as espresso. So ours say like streamlined espresso blend because it's designed to kind of work really well as espresso, and Triborough for us as well. You'll see it other places as well. It's more talking to the blend is design works really well with the espresso technique.
There's a lot of time and effort put into the different beans for their purpose as an espresso.
Exactly, but it is the same coffee whether you brew it as espresso, pour over, French press.
Which is where the second question would come in. You would use a coarser grind than you would for espresso for a pour over. Espresso grind is one of the finest grind you would really use, but for a pour over it's closer to like what you would use for a drip machine.
Yeah.
So if you were going to use an espresso bean, you would use it as a drip grind for the pour over.
Right. And usually we kind of tell people about kosher salt or table salt, about that coarseness, and then you can make adjustments based on taste after that. We did an episode, if you look back, we did an episode on how to adjust the grind for that. So anyway, Brad, hopefully that answers your question there for that. And you're going to be getting a t-shirt, free t-shirt.
Enjoy your t-shirt.
Next question is from Meri Jo A. And her question is, how long does the coffee stay fresh in the bag after you roast it and package it? And can you freeze the coffee in a sealed bag? And how long can you keep it in the freezer?
Another question I do get often at the counter here at Victrola. The thing about coffee is we try to get it to you as fresh as possible. The first few days after roast, despite popular belief, is not quite the first days you want to brew it. You want to brew it up to 3 or 4 days after the roast and let it kind of settle and get rid of all those gases that kind of erupt from the beans after that. But then it hits its prime, and then from there it only just kind of slowly degrades in flavor. After a week or two, you're going to notice some slight differences, but I have coffee at home that I'll brew for up to 2 weeks, 2 months after. I'll keep them for camping trips and make some cold brew.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
It's not going to make you sick or get you feeling terrible later. It's just not going to taste as much of the pronounced flavor. But when you go to a grocery store, you're buying very old beans. So anything you get from us and Let's Sit is not going to be as old.
That's true. The other thing too is that once after that kind of 3-ish day window of ideal, it needs a little bit of time to rest off the roast. it starts to degrade after that. And that's really just the volatile aromatics that are kind of escaping and just aren't as present anymore. You can still do it. I mean, I've definitely been like, oh, I'm desperate, and I had a month-old bag or whatever and had it, and it's fine. It's not as fragrant and amazing as when it's like less than a week. But
the key is to get a sealed container. That'll keep everything a lot fresher. It doesn't need to go in the freezer. That'll actually add a lot of different moisture. That'll degrade the beans a lot faster, and you will notice that will kill the beans right away. But a sealed container in a cupboard, just hanging out there, will be
sealed,
perfectly fine.
away from light. Usually, a lot of bags, ours included. You can roll back down and basically reseal. Some are even resealable, but don't put it in the freezer.
Yeah.
It's like a banana. I joke with people sometimes that it's like a banana. Once you put a banana in the freezer, it's not really a banana anymore. It just gets all mushy and absorbs flavors and stuff. It changes it, and that's kind of the same thing with coffee too. So.
Yep.
All right. So Mary Jo, hopefully that answers that. I'm sure there's a lot more that we could answer as well. But should we get a free T-shirt as well? Thanks for this question. All right. Last question. I think we can get you today is from Corey K. He says, I love Victrola coffee. Thanks, buddy. What's your favorite aspect of Victrola coffee, and what makes it distinct in your mind?
I think it's that everybody that gets gathered here in this workplace specifically, we find that everybody has the same feeling. We all not only love coffee, but we really do love our coffee, and it shows on a daily basis. Everybody comes to work happy, and it's easy to sell a product you're happy with and you're proud of, and it's easy to talk about it, and it's easy to spend every day paying so much attention to something when you know that everybody along the way that's been putting their hands on it cares about it as much as you do.
For sure.
Going down to the customer. I mean, we get the lovely ability here at this location where a lot of people come in who are brand new, never tried our coffee before, and it's an honor to me to be able to have that first experience with them, remembering my first time trying Victrola, and I think that is what just distinguishes us. We don't do anything, we don't try to go too crazy in your face otherwise. We try to really just serve you a good quality product, and
basically try to let the coffee speak for itself. I love the people that work here. It's a really great team that we've kind of developed.
We're a family.
Yeah, it's a good family, and of course the coffee's super great, super consistent, and that's day in and day out. Delicious. So anyway, I hope all these answers were useful for you guys. Thanks for writing in. Once again, you can direct message us on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or any we're on them all. Or you can email in as well. We'd love to answer more questions and help you get more out of your coffee. That's it for today.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
See ya.